Hello, peachies. Welcome back to Dear Peachy. Today, we're obsessed with this stunning makeup look that's been living rent-free in our heads. The sun-kissed tan skin, soft flushed cheeks, big feline eyes, and lashes that flutter like drama. This look? It's serving face card. It's giving sensual and cute all in one. The creator behind this look is Cory, an up-and-coming beauty guru in China's XiaoHongShu beauty scene. She's known for creating flawless looks that complement her gorgeous caramel-toned skin, whether it's they-inspired glam or smoky evening vibes. Her videos? Super high quality. She films everything in HD and breaks down every step and product she uses, so you won't miss a thing. If you've got a similar skin tone and love a Chinese beauty aesthetic with a twist, Cory's definitely your go-to. Now let's get straight into the tutorial. Fun fact before we start. Cory's profile name on XiaoHongShu literally translates to wild coriander. But let's be real. Coriander is kind of a mouthful, so we're just calling her Cory. Anyway, she kicks off the look with her skincare prep and pops in a pair of gray-toned colored lenses. They're subtle, soft, and totally enhance her features without looking too extra. Honestly, colored lenses like these can seriously take your whole makeup vibe to the next level. Next up, color correction. Cory uses a light concealer to brighten up areas with discoloration around the mouth, smile lines, chin, under eyes, and the outer corners of the eyes. She dabs everything in using a cushion puff. Remember, no dragging or pulling, just gentle tapping. Especially around the eyes, go in with a light hand. One thing Cory points out, the finished look you saw in the intro might look slightly different in tone. That's because she filmed it after sunset, so it appears more cool-toned. But don't be fooled. She actually used warm-toned products throughout the tutorial. In the original video, the makeup ended up looking a bit more pinkish on camera, probably because of the lighting. So today, Cory's recreating that same look using the exact same techniques, but this time with cool-toned pink-based products to really match the vibe you saw earlier. First, Cory pumps a small amount of liquid foundation onto the back of her hand, then uses a flat foundation brush to spread it evenly across her cheeks. She mentions something super helpful here. Using a foundation shade that matches your skin tone or is just a tiny bit darker can actually give you better coverage. Now, some of her followers have asked, how do I avoid brush strokes when using a foundation brush? And Cory keeps it real. She shows that even she gets brush streaks sometimes, and that's totally normal. She explains that a foundation brush is meant to help you spread the product thinly and evenly. It's not really designed to do all the blending work for you. Chances are it's better to do what Cory does, apply with a brush, then gently tap everything in with a cushion puff to get that flawless, skin-like finish. Cory shows us that when using the cushion puff, you actually want to pat it in with a bit of pressure. This helps the foundation really adhere to your skin and stay put. Want to check if you did it right? Just tap your face with your finger if there's no residue or fingerprint marks. You nailed it! To set everything in place, Cory takes the same cushion puff she used earlier and lightly sprays it with setting spray. Then she presses it directly onto the skin. No dragging, starting with the outer contour areas like this. Once that's done, she repeats the same step for the inner parts of the face to fully lock in the base. Next, she moves on to nose contouring using a cool, toned, grayish liquid contour. She dabs a bit of the product onto the back of her hand, then picks it up with a sickle-shaped nose contour brush. She starts by drawing a small V shape at the base of the nose tip, then adds a flipped V on top to create a subtle diamond shape. This technique helps make the nose tip appear smaller and more defined. Next, Cory fills in a soft C shape at the base of the nose root. But here's a key tip. Make sure the width of your nose bridge contour matches the width of your nose tip. Keeping it balanced is what makes it look natural. Using the leftover product on the brush, she gently swipes from the inner corners outward. Then, at the sides of the nose bridge, she softly blends the contour sideways to mimic natural shadows. To finish off the nose contour, she brings the brush towards the outer corners of the eyes and blends it upward. This trick subtly deepens the eye area and adds more dimension to your whole look. Cory's still using the same cushion puff from earlier this time to apply her liquid contour. She dabs it right at the highest points of her cheeks to help slim down her face shape. This technique creates a super natural looking contour that blends seamlessly into the skin and really breathes with it. She uses the same approach along her jawline, applying the contour with the puff, then blending it downward toward the neck and upward toward the cheeks or chin. It gives that sculpted look without harsh lines. Next up, highlighter. Cory actually shared a helpful map that shows exactly where she places her highlighter. To keep your base intact and prevent any shifting, she recommends dispensing the matte liquid highlighter onto the back of your hand first. Then, using a clean cushion puff, she dabs it onto areas like the nose-alar, smile lines, blending out toward the mouth corners, the tip and bridge of the nose, and right above the brow head. Once she's done contouring and highlighting, you can clearly see that play of shadows and light. It adds forwardness to the face and gives everything a more defined, sculpted feel. Now on to blush. Just like the other products, Cory starts by dabbing it onto the back of her hand first. She's using the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in Dusty Rose. The placement of the blush is also shown in a map she attached here. Using her cushion puff, she gently taps the blush just below her eyes, working it in with a circular motion. Then, she flips to the clean side of the puff and blends out the edges for that soft, natural finish. To finish off the blush, Cory adds a bit across the bridge of her nose and a tiny touch on the chin. This gives the face a healthy, flushed look that feels super fresh and youthful. Next, she sets the entire base with a light dusting of loose powder to lock everything in place. To intensify the nose contour, Cory reaches for a gray-toned shade from her Kaleidoscope Contour palette and uses a fine, flat brush for precision. She layers the contour powder right on top of that earlier C-shaped contour along the nose root. Here's how she does it. The first stroke starts at a point that lines up with the inner corner of the eye. Then she sweeps it up toward the front of the eyelid, following through all the way to the outer corner of the eye. To add more depth, she blends the powder upward at the outer corners. This creates a lifted, more defined look around the eyes. Since we've already laid down the base with liquid contour, now it's just about sculpting and defining with powder. Cory uses the remaining powder to lightly trace along the nose bridge and nose tip. Then, she blends it all out with a fluffy brush for a soft, natural finish. Now onto brows. Cory starts by using a brown shade from the Flower Nose Rococo Eyeshadow Palette in Ice Cream Latte. She picks up the powder with a flat brow brush and first taps off the excess on the back of her hand. This step helps keep the application soft and even. She begins by shaping her brows with a straight base that slightly arches upward, extending into a soft tail. Then she goes in with a brow pencil to add realistic hair-like strokes. To get those super fine lines, she actually sharpens the pencil tip using a sanding block. For the front of the brow, she draws strokes that point upward. Toward the tail, the strokes angle downward, just filling in any sparse spots as needed. To finish, Cory uses a tinted brow gel to add depth and hold. Since she naturally has lighter, sparser brows, she mentions she could even go for a darker shade. But if your brows are already dark and full, you can totally skip this step. Don't forget to coat the brow hairs underneath too. Swipe the gel upward, and if you notice any areas that still look sparse, just touch them up for that full, fluffy brow look. Cory's going for that effortless boy bra look, so she adds a few extra hair-like strokes right above the arch and just beneath the bra to create that fuller, fluffier effect. To bring even more life to her cheeks, she layers the Forever Key Moss Blush in shade 13 on top of the blush she applied earlier. This shade adds that soft, pinkish glow. She uses a powder puff to apply it. Super important. Cory mentions she used to use a brush for this step, but it often messed up her base. The puff gives her a smooth, non-patchy finish. And here's a cute little touch. Using the leftover blush on the puff, she gently dabs it over her eyelids. blending it slightly into the lower lids too. This gives everything a soft, dreamy monochrome look. Since Cory has uneven eyelids, she corrects them using an eyelid sticker. She places the sticker right on top of the fold of her double eyelid crease to support it and help it appear wider. And it really opens up her eyes. For eyeliner, Cory skips the typical pencil or pen, and instead grabs an eye detail brush to pick up the darkest brown shade from the Flower Nose palette. She carefully lines it along the inner corner of her lash line for a soft, natural definition. Next, Cory moves on to the outer corner of her eyeliner. She starts lining from a point that aligns with the outer rim of her iris. From there, she extends a straight line outward along the lash line toward the outer corner. The goal is to keep the line balanced so the inner and outer corners align horizontally. She gives the liner tail a little extra length so that when she smiles, it creates that soft, lifted smiling eyes effect. Then she takes a light brown shade and lines the lower inner corner of her eyes. After that, she adds the same shade to the outer third of her lower lash line and blends it out softly to make the eyes appear wider and more open. Now for a subtle under-eye contour, she switches to a lighter nude brown shade and gently defines the under-eye fat area. She blends it into the lower lid eyeshadow to keep everything seamless and soft. Finally, she takes a nude shade and lightly lines right along the bottom of the under-eye fat to brighten the area. This creates the illusion of a shorter mid-face and enhances that cute, youthful eye look. Next, Cory goes back to the Flower Nose Rococo palette and picks the nude shimmery champagne shade to brighten up the inner corners. She blends it from the inner corner up to the front of the lids, then extends it along the front of the tear trough to create the illusion of deeper, more defined eyes. Then she mixes in the peach shade from the same palette to highlight her under-eye fat. This step is key. It brings contrast to the nose contour, making your nose appear more prominent and your eyes pop. Now for the lashes. Cory uses clustered falsies for this look. Her go-to tip? Apply them underneath your natural lashes. Use a mirror placed at a lower angle and tilt your head slightly so you can clearly see your lash roots. For the lower lashes, she recommends placing the falsies right below your actual lashes. It gives a supernatural effect, like they're your real lashes. Using an ultra-fine Q-tip, she dabs on some dark brown eyeshadow and gently dots it under her brows, around the eyes, and on her cheeks to create cute faux moles. Then, with a brown lip liner, she contours her lips, filling slightly above the Cupid's bow and at the corners of her mouth. For the base color, she goes in with a warm shade from Ingenue in M5, blending it out evenly with a lip brush. To finish, she adds a pinker shade to the center of her lips and Cupid's bow for a more defined, plump look. Next, she uses her fingertips to apply a shimmery highlighter to the tip and bridge of her nose. She dabs a little more just below the eyes to give that fresh, dewy glow. This placement helps create a slimmer, more lifted face shape. And finally, the cherry on top, she uses the Too Cool for School highlighter pencil to brighten her under-eye fat and inner corners for an extra pop of glow. To tie it all together, Cory curls her hair to match the look. And that's the final look. This look is just perfect. We just love how the look complements her beauty. And her smile definitely elevates the whole vibe. What do you think? Will you try out this look too? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye.